Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Siobhan Noel, and we are live in the lab on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. Happy Sunday, happy fun day, everybody. I hope you all had a grand and blessed one. And I'm excited to rock the mic with y'all for the next hour. I am a party of one today, so guess what? Y'all my co-hosts for today. And we are going to make this an interactive show. We are going to be able to do Q&A. So if you are on my live, jump in, say hey, tell me who you is, where you bees at, where you watching from, all that kind of good stuff. But I'm excited. I get asked a lot of questions, a lot. Like, how do I do? Why do I do? How can I do? Type thing for all the, Vonnie be in the city, right? Y'all know that. So I be busy and all that kind of stuff. So people are always asking me about things that I do. And so today, class is in session, y'all. We're going to talk about it. I am going to go over things that I do and encourage, empower, and hopefully ignite the opportunity for you to do the same. Because if little old me could do it, right, then little old you could too, right? So basically, in a nutshell, I'm going to give you some tips and pointers. I have a few areas that I want to touch on, but y'all know I'm a talker, and based off of Q&A, I'm not sure if we will get to hit them all. But some of the topics consist of, but are not limited to, how did I write my book? People ask me that all the time. Siobhan, how'd you write your book? Who'd you use for publishing? All these different questions. So we're going to talk about that. I self-published my book, and we're going to go into the details of how to write a book. Another question I get asked all the time, how did I get into media? So we're going to talk about that today, and again, these are going to be opportunities for you to do the same as well. Another topic that I'm going to touch on is me purchasing my home. I purchased my home last year. I'm actually coming up on a 1-year anniversary, and I'm going to tell you all how I did it. For that person that is at home listening, that is just like, well, I'm a single mom. My income is not where I need it to be. My credit is lousy, and I just can't get qualified. That's who I'm talking to. Anybody that can take a pointer away, it's for you as well. But specifically for that person that just feels like home ownership is not for them, we're going to talk about that today as well. And but before we dump into all of that, before class gets in session, so that we can give you all the opportunity to grab paper, pen, take notes, and come up with questions. Because again, I welcome Q&A. I want to talk to the people today. I'm going to talk about my birthday BS, y'all. So if you have not been following, I am turning 40 on the 27th of September. I am a Libra, and I'm not doing necessarily an extravagant party, but I will be celebrating for 4 consecutive days. And I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited because I am one of those people that don't typically have parties or birthday parties for myself. And it's so funny because my son has a birthday party every year. But I am excited to be celebrating me, you guys. And I think it's well overdue. I had a birthday for my 30th. I did celebrate that with a small group of my closest friends. And then a couple years ago, I had a party kind of by default. So I count it, but I don't count it, kind of, but I don't type thing. So this one is by no happenstance. It is all intentional. And so, again, I'm very excited to be bringing in my formidably 40th birthday with family, friends, and everybody. Really, just a time to celebrate and love on me and acknowledge my accomplishments, where I am in life, and that I made it to 40, because everybody doesn't have that blessing. So I will have opportunities for you all to celebrate with me, but of course I have some for my immediate friends and family as well. So just to kind of dive in, again, my birthday is on the 27th of September, and that's on a Tuesday, so I'll be working or whatnot, and I'm actually cool with going to work on my birthday, but I did take off the weekend before that. So the Thursday, the Friday, and then going into the weekend is when I will be literally celebrating for 4 days for my 40th. So the Thursday and Friday will kind of be just intimate type gatherings or whatnot. some friends and family that just can't make it over the weekend. I will probably see them. My honey and I will celebrate. My son and I will celebrate, things like that. Then coming into that Saturday, I am kind of doing, I don't know if you all hear that dinner party that people do. And it's called Dinner in El Black. Oh, excuse me, and Blanca. So in white, excuse me. So it's French themed. And that is done once a year. And so I'm doing one similar, but it's going to be in black. So it'll be outdoor. It's kind of typically picnic style, but really not, because we're going to have hot food. So I will have a chef come to cook for us in a backyard. I rented a Airbnb, and we'll have hibachi. So they'll cook and prepare in front of us, as you all are, I'm sure, are familiar with how the hibachi is served. And that will be my intimate dinner with my close friends and family. I've selected 20 people to join me to do so. And yeah, we'll have hibachi, we'll have a dessert bar, we'll have a saxophonist play. It'll be a beautiful setup outside in a really pretty backyard. And so that will be really the kickoff to my birthday party and birthday extravaganza, or soiree, if you will. You know, I like to play with words, right? So that will be the kickoff for that, my birthday soiree. And so I'm excited. That will be dinner in all black. Again, it will be an outside setting. The chef is really amazing. I'm going to drop her information on my social media page, as well as the saxophonist, because I like to promote people that I work with. So if you all are interested in using either, but they are, again, amazing. So to talk about the chef a little bit, the primary dinner comes with a bunch of stuff, so I'm super excited. Everybody is going to leave full and happy. So it'll be prepared with steak, shrimp, and chicken as a combo. You don't have to pick. So you get all three of those, and of course I have the variations for those that may not eat those options, but that's the primary function or meal, with your fried rice, your vegetable, as well as the pasta that comes with the Asian or hibachi cuisine. So that will be the primary dish, but I do have a few subs for those that do not partake in those meats or whatnot. I will add on a salmon dish. I do have on a vegetable dish, and then I have on a variation for those that don't eat shrimp. So I'm accommodating all my people, basically. ATL saxophonist, shout out to him. He will be coming to serenade us. So I'm just excited. It's going to be a grown and sexy vibe. Outside with the table linen and the decor. Oh, shout out to Sean with taking the load off. She's coming to do the balloon setup and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm super excited about that. But the ambiance is going to be superb. The dinner, the food is going to be amazing. Shout out to Nikki with Sweetbox LLC. She's doing my desserts. I'm going to have, of course, my birthday cake. I'm going to have a whole dessert table with treats. I'm going to do a blue velvet cheesecake shooters. I'm going to have cookies, covered Rice Krispie treats, cookies, all the works that you do for your birthday on the treat table. So I'm excited about that. So you guys, of course, I'll post pictures and all that kind of good stuff, but reach out to any of these people if you're interested. I have used Sweetbox LLC before, Nikki, so I'm very familiar with her service, her work, and it's always amazing. She's great at what she does. The other two I will be using for the first time. However, I have checked their references, I have seen their work, and so I know that they're going to deliver. So I'm very, very excited about those as well. What else? So that's my Saturday setup. Anywho, that is my Saturday setup. Shout out to my two co-hosts, Nika and Yolandria. The same day, as most of you may know, I always cover as media the Honorable Chairman Turner's of Clayton County Internationals Ball. He has that every year, but this year is a little sooner. It's typically in October, but this year is the last weekend in September, which is also the week I'm celebrating my birthday. So I will not be present. However, Vonnie and the City will still be in the building. So I'm very, very excited about that as well. So Yulandria and Nika, and that's the only reason they won't be joining me Saturday night for my birthday, because they will be filling in on my behalf to cover the Chairman Turner International Ball at the GICC, Georgia International Convention Center. That is on Saturday, the 23rd, of September. And if you have not gotten your tickets, it's still time. If you like to get dolled up, get dressed up, have a good time, and just go out and support an amazing cause. So do that. Tickets are still available, and you can go have a good time, make it a date night, a girls' night. This year's international theme will be Caribbean themed, and so you can either wear Caribbean attire and or all white, or he said last week when he was on the show, wear whatever you got. Just come, have a good time and support. But that is the theme, either all white or Caribbean attire. Do you say Caribbean or Caribbean? I just noticed I pronounced it twice, 2 different ways. But anywho, I see a few people on my live. Say hello, tell me who you are, where you bees at, all that kind of good stuff. And for those that are listening on air, hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. So day 2, before we get into class, I'm going to tell you all about day 2, or I guess depending on how you count this, day 4 of my birthday BS for me turning 40. So that will be my event that's kind of open to the public, if you will, or open to whoever wants to join. And so that will be, my birthday BS is, the BS stands for brunch and swimming. So we'll be joining the owner of the station, Kel. She hosts a brunch and karaoke, and it is every Sunday. She hosts at April's place. Hey Toshiba, thank you for joining me on my live, dear. How are you? And so that will be the event that we'll do on Sunday. And we'll join her at 1 p.m. at April's Bistro in Douglasville, Georgia. Again, it's open to the public. So if anyone wants to come out and join us, it's not just the ladies' night, it's the fellas, whomever wants to come and hang out with us, with yours truly, and help me bring in my 40th birthday. It will be my pleasure, my honor to celebrate with you. So come on out. As of right now, I've reserved a table for 20, but if I get more feedback in regards to if that number will fluctuate or deviate a little bit, we will act accordingly. That day we'll have, again, brunch, we'll do karaoke, have a good time, but then we'll end it and by going to LOA. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's super, super amazing. So it's called Leave of Absence. It's here in Atlanta, and it's super, super grown, sexy, fun, but we'll be going there to swim. So pack your swimsuit, pack your swim trunks, all that kind of good stuff, and join us next Sunday. And I will, of course, drop the details. So I know you all are following me on my Vonnie in the City page, so you all can get all the information. The attire for that is blue. We're doing 40 shades of blue. And again, we will be at April's Bistro in Douglasville at 1 p.m. And then we'll have brunch, karaoke, have a good time. We're going to stay there for a little while and hang out and have fun. But then after that, we're going to Leave of Absence in Atlanta off of Howell Mill Road. So pack your swimsuit, okay? Because we're going to have a good time, and we're going to end the evening at 5 p.m. and bring it on in at Leave of Absence. So again, I'll drop those details, but we're going to pause for a break. I'll be right back, you guys. Stay tuned.
Leave of absence.
Thank you. I haven't taken a break in forever. I'm supposed to do. No, I'm kidding.
What's leave of absence?
Oh my goodness, it's this really amazing place. It opened like 3 months, maybe 4 months ago. Mm-hmm. So it's off of Howell Mill Road. It's 3 parts. So indoors is like fine dining, exquisite, really, really pretty dining. Mm-hmm. Kind of like your almost a step up from Ruth Chris, like really, really nice. Okay. Then they have outside that is like a lounge, but it's rooftop exterior only. Really nice ambiance, bars. The end of the roof is all glass, so you can just lean on the glass or whatnot. to me that makes me nervous because
I'm scared of heights. Yeah.
and I'm not even scared of heights, but that makes me nervous. Then the third tier is a pool and like a cafe. But all of it is like real sexy vibes, real pretty. When I first went there, because I went by myself just to be nosy. And I was like, what is this place? I got to see what it is. It reminds me kind of like a Men in Black type situation, like real elite type thing. Because they were like, what are you here for? Yes. They were like, what are you here for? I'm like, what do you think? I want to eat. You know, like, do you have a reservation? No, I just want to walk in. And they was like, well, ma'am, you're going to have to wait a moment. And blah, blah, blah. It's like going through logistics. So that's why I tell everybody, make sure you have a reservation, even just to swim. And it was really, really nice.
And how long you going to be there?
I think I'm going to do there from like, we'll start at 5. I don't know if I want to put a cap on it. We just vibing and having fun. We can stay for a while.
I gotta do your show. I don't want to miss it.
So, make your reservation.
Okay.
And then you can come pull up whenever.
Okay.
And you go to Howell Mill Road and you pull in the parking deck. I'll send you the address and stuff. But you pull up and you get out in the parking deck, and there's like an outside part in the parking deck, and it's all these people in black with a big table and stuff and suits and everything. So you go there and tell them what you're there to do, so you can say, you know, swim or whatnot, and they'll escort you up. So you go across the parking deck with these people. They'll put you on the elevator by yourself. Yeah, because it just seems so, I don't know. Yes, it reminds me of Men in Black from the movie. They'll put you on the elevator, tell you what floor to get off of. When you get off, it's a lobby and people are waiting for you there. And they'll say, you know, Ms. Mungeon, Ms. Fleming, whoever, they already know that you're getting off the elevator.
Wow.
And then they'll prepare you for whatever you're doing. So whether it's the fine dining, the pool, whatever the case is. So for the pool, when you make your reservation, you'll get towels and a glass of champagne, and they'll escort you to the pool.
Wow.
It's pretty, yeah.
Therapy?
Yes, $30 to swim.
Okay, $30.
Yes.
And when you went, was it packed? Was it a lot of people in there?
No, I deliberately went on a weekday because I knew
Okay.
I was just going to be nosy and scope it out.
I'm about to say, oh shit. You still got a
Okay.
minute.
Okay.
I was like, God, it's kind of quiet.
So, this will be my first time going on the weekend. So
Okay.
I was able to walk in during the week, even though they was looking at me crazy, like, well, don't you know you're supposed to have a reservation? But they did let me go ahead and walk in.
Okay.
So I do strongly recommend making a reservation. I'm just not doing a group reservation because that day is kind of just freelance for everybody to just kind of
Gotcha.
come and go as they please, whether it's meet us at brunch, meet us at LOA, whatever the case is. And yeah, so I'm like, I'm excited.
Bring some girls too then.
Yes.
30 seconds.
Okay. But
That sounds fun.
the food and the drinks are a little pricey, so I'm telling everybody to get full at April's, and then and when we get there, if you just want to get a drink or something, that's cool. But don't unless you just want to. Of course, I ain't telling you not to spend your money, but if you just be prepared, you know what I mean? Because I got that day I went to be nosy. And we're back, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me for the whole hour. But it's your girl, Siobhan Noel, and we are live on Hits 92.3, and you're live with Vonnie in the City. So I was just prepping you all and sharing with you all what I'm going to do for my birthday, my formidably 40th birthday. So I'm super, super excited. I will be celebrating for 4 days. The first two, like I was sharing, just to recap real quick, will be kind of quiet, intimate evenings on Thursday and Friday. But then the turn up is going to take place on Saturday and Sunday. So again, I've rented an Airbnb on Saturday, and so that one is invite only. And I have an amazing chef. I'm so excited because I love to eat, y'all. I'm just excited talking about it. So she is going to prepare hibachi for us in front of us outside in the backyard. She does the decor, the night lighting, all that kind of good stuff. So she's laying out the red carpet. It's going to be super, super pretty, amazing ambiance. I hired a saxophonist. I got a dessert table with my birthday cake, and we're gonna do blue velvet cheesecake sliders. Just everything can be blue, of course. I didn't think y'all would think it would be any other color, but just in case. But yes, I'm super excited. And then that Sunday is kind of my open for all, free for all type thing. So anybody that wants to join, you are welcome to do so on Sunday for my birthday BS. So that will be my brunch and swimming. And so we'll start at April's Bistro in Douglasville at 1 p.m. And then we will end it at LOA. That's Leave of Absence in Atlanta. It's a new spot. Super, super cute, quaint, sexy. Grown and sexy, I should say. No kids type of situation. But you got to come dressed cute as a button per usual. And just get ready to have a good time. So I'm excited. Thank you to everybody that has already RSVP'd. And thank you to everybody that will join if you're still figuring out if you can make it and all that kind of good stuff. But anywho, enough of that. Enough of my birthday BS. We're going to go ahead and jump into class because class is in session for today. I will be your teacher, your Professor Vonnie. And we are going to talk about some things that, like I was saying earlier, I get asked all the time, how do I, for a variation of things. And so I want to talk about those things. How do I? And so take out your pens and paper, take notes. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. Oh, hey Toshiba, you said you are coming to celebrate with me. You'll book your reservation. Yes, I cannot wait to see you. So please do that. And you can just go to the LOA Atlanta, Google that, or I will also drop it the information, the link as well. Okay. So thank you. And of course at brunch, you do not need a reservation for that. Just show up, y'all. 1 p.m. at April's Bistro. All right, so we are going, again, I'm going to cover 3 main topics today is the goal. Like I said earlier, I am a talker, and based on if you all have questions, that can vary if I hit all 3 or if I even have time to do another one. But I want to start with my book. I wrote a book. Oh my goodness, it's been a few years now that I think about. I wrote my book I finished it in 2019. Goodness. So I am a 3-year author. I didn't even realize I had been that long. But anywho, so this is my book for those of you that are watching on my live. It's called Good Grief: Viewing Life's Tribulations Through an Optimistic Lens, published and authored by yours truly. And so I'm just going to go over the process with you all. And for anyone that is inspiring or inspired to write, I really strongly recommend, if you have a business, you should have a book. And why do I say that? My book particularly is a memoir. So it's my personal story. However, if you have a business, note yourself or deem yourself as the professional in that industry, and so attach a book to it. Whether it's makeup, if you're a chef, if you are an interior designer, if you are an educator, whatever it is that you do, write a book. And it could be a workbook, a booklet. It doesn't have sometimes I think people get intimidated when they hear writing a book, thinking that it has to be something very intense and robust and things of that nature. When you're the author of it, the beauty of it is that you get to create your own. So there's no rules to it. I have a good friend that lives in New York, and she's a multi-published author. Most of her books are booklets, like a quarter of my size, maybe this tall, and most of them are under 50 pages, like 25 to 50 pages on average. So booklets. And so again, yours can be whatever you want. It can be 20 pages. It could be 200 pages. You're the author. It's no rules to it. Okay. So let's start with that. And again, if you have a story to tell, whether it's your personal story or an artificial story, that's totally fine. But if it's not based off of a story, you as the professional in whatever it is that you do can write a book based off of your expertise. And sharing with people, whether it's how-tos or don't-dos or whatever it is. I mean, that can vary based off of the business. And why do I say if you have a business, you should write? Because having this book opens up so many doors. So let's say, for example, if you are a hairstylist, okay? Let's just throw a topic out there. What would you write a book on? Or again, a booklet. It doesn't have to be ultra formal. It could be a booklet with tips, 30 days to healthy hair. Or a book journal for your hair. You know, if you're in the process of growing your hair out, and each day you want to take notes of what you do so you know what works and what doesn't, right? So these are just ideas. But again, I encourage you to do that because I know for a matter of fact that hairstylists, a lot of them tell me that their biggest money maker is off of merchandise. And so this is a merchandise, and it's a merchandise that doesn't go away. So when they buy the shampoos and the hairsprays and things of that nature, you know, it goes away once they're finished. And you hope they come back, which that's great as well, because that's a residual sale, right? But the book stays forever. They can reread it, reuse it, but at the end of the day, they carry your brand with them forever. Chances are they'll share it. A lot of times people will pass on a book, right? So it has a marketing piece that is ever giving, never ending, okay? But it also engages your audience. These are marketing 101. Marketing 101 is keeping your audience engaged. Marketing 101 is something that will carry for a lifelong piece, right? So that's another reason that a lot of times people do merch. You see people sell t-shirts or hats or things like that. Well, to me, this is like a step above, okay? So you'll have your brand and your contact information on the cover and throughout the book. And people will reference, like, especially like say if you go to the end of every chapter, you can say maybe have a quiz or a puzzle or something fun and refer them back to your website for the answers, right? That's strategic marketing, okay? So those are things that you can do, and the beauty of having a book. So let's dive into the how-tos. I personally wrote my book in jury duty, and I was one of those people that wanted to write and kept procrastinating, kept putting it off, never got around to sitting down and writing my book. And I'm just being quite honest. But I feel like sometimes the Lord will, when he puts an assignment on you, he will make a way for it to get done. And I feel he did exactly that for me. I had never been called for jury duty a day in my life, literally ever. And I am an avid voter, been registered to vote. For those of you that don't know, voting is when you're a registered voter, that's how you get selected for jury duty. But again, I had never gotten selected until this time. And so I got called for jury duty, or summons for jury duty, if you will. And I went and never got put on a case. But I took my laptop every day. It was pressed on my heart. And most people are sitting in this waiting room and they're laughing, talking, making friends, having a good time, and all that is fine and dandy. But I sat in the corner in the back of the room, and every day for 8 hours, I wrote my book. I sat in there for a week, and then I got released, never placed on a case. So I didn't do 100% of my writing, but I came doggone close to it. I say about 80-90% of my book was finished, sitting on jury duty. Okay? So then I fell back into procrastination, that beast of procrastination. And I'm in a group on Facebook. It's called, at the time it was called something else, but now it's called Sisters Believing and Building in Unity. And the ladies were doing a pay it forward chain. And I got caught in the pay it forward chain, and caught in a good way, of course. That was a blessing. But a young lady got gifted something, and it was her turn to pay it forward, and she chose me out of thousands of women. Again, God works, right, in mysterious ways. And she inboxed me, and she says, again, I didn't even know this woman. She didn't know I was writing a book or anything. And she says, I own a publishing company, and I do graphic designs for covers of books. What's the chances of that, right? So again, God, he'll show up and show out and make sure that you complete an assignment when he puts it on you, right? Even if you may even try to run away from it, okay? But so at first, and again, the devil works simultaneously too. I almost told this young lady no. But let me tell you why. I wasn't finished writing my book yet, and so I was going to tell her no because I didn't want to take that as a gift if I wasn't prepared to use it. But God spoke in my heart, and he just said, talk to her. Be honest. Let her know where you are in your journey, but accept the book. But then that's going to be your, accept the book cover. But again, that's going to have to be your why to finish it, because we're not going to accept this woman's gift of a $300 value and not complete the assignment, right? So that bug of procrastination fell on me several times in the process of writing my book. Several times, okay? So don't feel like that is your end or the stopping point for you. It's just an obstacle, a hurdle you got to push through and make a way out of no way. But if it's pressed on your heart to write, then I'm encouraging you today to write, okay? So how do you write? Because then you have that again, the devil's busy, and it could be a lot of different things that will be that monkey on your back, whether it's procrastination or you talking yourself out because you feel that, well, I'm not educated, or I'm not a writer, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not whatever it is. I don't hold any formal degrees. I'm not a celebrity. I don't hold anything that warrants me to be a published author. But I sit before you today as a published author, a self-published author. So if I can, so can you. Okay? So we're going to throw that monkey of doubt, of procrastination, of not believing you can, whatever it is, we're going to throw that away and know that you can. Okay? And then utilize the tools that are available to us to do so. So creating the content is your first step. Now, my book, I actually chose not to have any pictures in it. And because I didn't want to identify with any audience, I wanted my book to be relatable to all, to men, women, black, white, old, young, anybody that was interested in my story. And so that's why I chose to leave pictures out. So putting your content. Again, I did mine and I wrote my book on my laptop. You can write it hand to paper. Again, the other young lady that I shared about earlier, she told me she literally wrote her book on sticky notes. Now, mind you, her book is not a ton of content, which is okay. I'm not saying that in a negative form. But she literally wrote hers on sticky notes, put them in a bag, and took them to an editor. Now, you can also jot down your book and have someone ghostwrite for you. If you're not having trouble coming up with the content, you can hire a ghostwriter. Tell them the plot and what you want and whatnot, and let them do the rest for you. That's an available service as well. Another option, if you just feel like you just do not have the time and cannot make the time to sit down and write or even jot down and don't want to or may not have the money to invest in a ghostwriter, audio. Record on your phone your story. Just simply start chapter 1 and start talking. Okay? Chapter 2 and start talking. Or my book doesn't actually have chapters. So you can just, break it up into sections. Again, it's no wrong or right way to do this. So let's say you're going to, again, I was using a hairstylist for a model or a example for someone that may have a business and want to write because of their business. So the consultation, let's say the first part will be called the consultation. And you have creative different chapters. The shampoo, the washing set, the trim. Okay, and again, these can be just creative terms that you're calling each section of your book. But that trim could either be letting go of the dead hair, or if you're being creative, it can be letting go of dead weight and how you're encouraging someone to let go of dead weight so they can grow. Okay? But you're calling it the trim as a creative measure. All right? So have fun with it. Be creative. Again, there's no wrong or right way to do it because you're the author. And that means you get to do this your way. Okay? So again, the main first thing that you want to do is come up with your content, and it could be in any of those ways that I just shared. Once you come up with your content, then at that time, you want to deliver it to an editor. So if you decide to put it in audio, of course, you're going to need to put it on paper at some point, right? Unless you're making it a fully audio book. But let's just say, for the purpose of today's discussion, you're going to put it on paper because you want a book, a tangible book. And of course, you have electronic books and things of that nature as well. But again, for the sake of the discussion, we're going to talk about tangible hard copy books that can be paperback or hard copy. Okay, so you need to get it in a tangible format, your book. So how do you do that next? What's next? So again, if you decided to do it fully in audio, then you'll at that point enlist a transcriber to put it on paper. Okay, and what does that transcriber do? They don't edit it, they don't correct it in any form or fashion. They simply take your words, your audio, and put it on paper. I've actually done that before, and there's tons of companies that do that. You can get your little sister, your little cousin, somebody to just type it out for you. Okay, so I want to encourage you to let you know that this is not something that has to be difficult. It doesn't have to be perfect, because this is your rough draft. I don't, kids and stuff is so different nowadays, but most of my audience is my age range. So you remember being in school and doing your rough draft for your paper, right? It didn't have to be perfect. So you got your rough draft, you had putting it together, okay, just to have something tangible to start with, your starting point. And then at that point you compile it. Now remember, I just told y'all a young woman took sticky notes. So just to kind of just let you know how informal this can be, but you just have to have your content to give to somebody to get started. Okay, so whether it's formal and written out, mine was typed out nice and neat. That's just, I'm a more structured individual. But if you're a creative individual, I know sometimes our creatives can be fun and all over the place, right? So if that's not quite you, that's okay. So whatever it is that you do, put it together, get it on paper, and then take it to sit down and have a consultation with an editor. My editor was thebomb.com. Okay, I'm just absolutely amazing. So not only did she edit it, she did the formatting for me as well. The editing process took about a month because the length of my book, and you go back and forth. It's almost like, when I say you go to the doctor. If the doctor tells you something, you don't have to accept it. So the same for your editing. When the editor, gives you your first draft of edits, you can say, no, I wanted it that way. I'm a Southern girl, I talk a little country, so leave it that way, right? Or if you want her to get it prim and proper, you know what I mean? So however you see fit for your book. Again, you're the author, so there's no wrong way. Your editor that you're hiring to assist you in it is to follow your beat, to dance to the beat of your drum, if you will, okay? So they're going to give you recommendations. They're going to find errors, and then they'll send it back to you in red marked, okay? Kind of like the teacher would do with everything outlined in red. So you can clearly identify what they're correcting, and that at that point you can accept the corrections or deny the corrections, okay? They'll also, mine did. So you want to find you someone that does these things as well. She formatted it. And the reason that it's important for formatting it is for a few reasons. One, for proper printing. Okay, so that when you print it out, it lines up properly. So you want to figure out what size your book is going to be. I can't remember because it's been a few years since I wrote mine, but I want to say it's like a 3.5 by 8 or a 5 by 8 in regards to measurements. So like a regular size piece of paper is an 8.5 by 11. Okay, so mine was formatted again, because that was even a trick for me to just add a little thickness, because I don't have a lot of content. My book is a little over 100 pages, so we reduced the size to fluff it out a little bit, if you will. Okay, so we took my 8.5 by 11, shrunk it down to, again, I think it's a 5 by 8.5 or something like that. But then at that point, so that I don't just adjust the size, we adjust the measurement. So that's what she does. She'll get it in line, not only for your printing, but then also for your digital copy, for if you want to put it on Amazon or any other platform so that it flows properly and matches up with your print. So, for example, if you ever do a book club or anything like that, and you may have some people that have print copies of your book, some people that have digital copies of your book. When you tell them to go to page 43, we're all looking at the same thing on page 43. Okay, so that's the purpose of that, that proper formatting. Okay, so I encourage you, because you can, they have these different apps for editing, but it's so many different things that need to be done. So I encourage you to get, and especially if you're not an avid writer, to get that one thing. That's one thing I say to invest in. You can, a lot of the stuff you can do it yourself, but I encourage you to invest in an editor. And you can make payments over the process, because like I said, editing doesn't happen overnight. So for me, it was about approximately 3-4 weeks of editing. Okay, so I want to encourage you to don't let anything discourage you. If it's expensive, talk about making payments or whatever it is to get it to where you need to be so that you can execute. Okay, so that's your next step in regards to will there be a replay? Yes, Toshiba, I'm going to keep this live up so you can just re-watch the replay. For those that are listening on air, the station will not replay it, but you'll just simply go to my Facebook page and you can watch the replay. Great question. Thank you, Toshiba. So once you do that part, the rest of it isn't necessarily next step per se. You can do them in any order per se if you like. So what I did was, as I got someone working on my book cover, I then started looking up getting a barcode. See, that's my barcode on the back. It's a unique barcode that is not on any other merchandise anywhere. You can buy them in packages if you think you'll be doing multiple things, but you'll need this for especially if you plan on putting it on a platform such as Amazon or any store. Now, if you just want to sling them out of your trunks or something like that, or when you go to speaking engagements or simply on your website, and I say just, not in the form of belittling it, but just as clarity. Okay, so either of those are fine. I actually opted to not put it on a platform at this time, and I'll even tell you why. You guys know that I'm ultra transparent, and I love to share, and it's about me connecting with you all, so you know who I am, because I feel like you are someone that listens to me week in, week out. But so I want to be able to connect with you, and so that you get to know the personal side of me as well, not just the Vonnie in the city, right? So the reason that I chose not to put it on a platform at the time, which I probably will at some point, like I said, I'm 3 years into my book, so I am getting to the point where I think I may be ready to do so. But the reason that I chose not to at the time is because, for those that don't know, my book is called Good Grief, Viewing Life's Tribulations Through an Optimistic Lens, and I am very transparent about my significant losses that I've had in my life, from losing my mother to losing my husband to others. And so in my story, I go into depth about becoming a widow, losing my husband while I was on vacation out of the country, and I also share a little bit of kickback that I felt like I got from his family. And so that's why I did not want to put my book on a platform, because I did not want, if I felt like if they wanted to get a copy of my book, they had to come and see me to get it, and not get one and talk bad about it, and just so many other reasons. So I'm not going to go into a lot of specifics on that, but that was why I chose not to put it on a platform. So anybody that wanted to hear my story had to come see me to get it, and that was specifically why. So you got your content, you got your book cover in the making, you got your barcode, right? Now we got your all these people will at some point simultaneously come together, because once you get your barcode, you got to send it to the person that is making the book cover. And some people actually make their own book cover, and that's okay. A lot of this stuff is self doable. Okay, you can do it yourself, but again, the one thing that I do recommend investing in is the editor. Okay, because you don't want to put a product out there that is not professional, clean, proper execution of your message, things of that nature. Okay, so definitely consider, even though that is something you can do yourself, and I am usually a do-it-yourselfer, but I do encourage you to get an editor. Okay. So in that logistic, those people will work simultaneously, because once you get your barcode over to the person that makes the cover of your book, then at that point you'll send it over to your editor, just so that they can see the proper measurements for the formatting piece. And then last but not least, then you'll find a printing company. Mine was not local. I recommend doing a little research to find a local print company, because that will save you a ton of money on shipping and handling. These books can get expensive. So by the time you do shipping and handling, that's more money you can spend on printing, if that makes sense. Okay, so just do some research. If you would like to use any of the people that I use, I'd be more than happy to share. So just inbox me, and I will share these informations. And you know what I'll also go ahead and put them on my Facebook page, so that you can have them readily accessible. Okay, but I know for a fact off the top of my head, 48 Hour Print was an online service. They'll print your book in 48 hours, okay? And then they'll ship it to you. And the shipping usually takes about 5 to 7 days. So you can have your finished product to you in about a week or so, a little over tops. But yeah, that is it in a nutshell. And I told y'all I had a few other topics that I wanted to discuss, but I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to hit them. So we're definitely going to have to table those for the next time that we sit down and do this. But in a nutshell, if you have questions, if you have anything that you want me to go into more detail about, by all means, please feel free. Because if I see a lot of people expressing additional interest and things of that nature, then maybe we'll need to make a part 2 of just this subject. Okay. Of course, I don't mind sitting down, but I like to make things affordable for people, and so of course, if I'm sitting down on a one-on-one, then that's going to warrant a consultation, right? So when you can tune in to Body in the City and get the information for free. So again, if I am seeing the need for more in-depth for this, then I'll definitely do an additional part. It probably won't be until the end of October, but we'll definitely consider that. So feel free, let me know if you have questions, if you want more information. But in a nutshell, it's really that simple to write your book. Literally as easy as 1, 2, 3. I think we hit 3 major topics. The different ways to come up with your content, the cover of your book, the editing piece. Those are really the 3 high points, right? But we did dive into the minutia of each of those subject matters. But those are the 3 high points, really. And again, I have to say, writing a book is just not for if you have a story. I really encourage anybody that has a business to write a book. Deeming yourself as the professional. If you're a hairstylist, write you a book. And it could be a workbook. It doesn't have to be in depth. You know what I mean? It can be 30 days to healthy hair. It can be a workbook on, maintaining your hair. It can be so many different things. Get creative with it, okay? But again, it's a marketing piece, and it warrants you as the professional, but it also takes you places you've never been. I will tell you that me writing this book has put me on platforms at places I've never expected. So again, as a hairstylist, and I use that for the example for today, but writing a book, when it circulates, you have people reaching out to you to come and teach classes as a professional, and so many other things, putting you on platforms like Bronner Brothers and all those type of things. And I mean that. Like, that is very a reachable and obtainable goal when you are putting your stuff in line. Okay, because again, I have been, from my book, been able to speak on platforms such as the student body of Clark Atlanta University, grief support networking forums, so many other places. So just consider it. If you have a business, remember you're the professional, put it on paper. All right, y'all. So that's our show for the day. I appreciate you all for tuning in each and every week. Next week I will not be here, but Nika will be running the show, so you guys tune in. She has an amazing guest that she'll have potentially too. And but I'll see you guys the next week after that, the top of October. It's my time, y'all. I'll see you next week, or 2 weeks, same time, same place. Good night.
Yeah. I would ask you something. Yeah, I really want to.